All right. Time to share. Sabbath's not over yet. I like to do during the day, but it's still Sabbath night, so got a little bit behind today. Gonna share and see if anybody wants to join. All right. So happy Sabbath, everyone. I'm Lee. Welcome. I do scripture studies here, so just share what I've learned to gather on the Sabbath, and if you get anything out of this, praise Yah. If I mess anything up, that's on me. If you see anything I miss, share. Somebody might need to hear it, or I'm maybe something I don't know. So, all right, we're in Proverbs. This is the Dead Sea Scrolls was preserved. Proverbs found in Cave 4, and just a little bit of it. Got the Septuagint pulled up. See, so here the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for learning about wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for gaining instruction in wise dealing, righteousness, justice, and equity, to teach shrewdness to the simple, knowledge and prudence to the young. Let the wise too hear and gain in learning, and the discerning acquire skill. To understand a proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their riddles. See, Messiah spoke in riddles. Pretty much the whole of Scripture is in code, because it's God's words. It's way above our understanding. So he spoke through holy men, prophets. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. So, got to be careful with that. Hear, my child, your father's instruction. Do not reject your mother's teaching, for they are a fair garland for your head and pendants for your neck. My child, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait for blood. Let us wantonly ambush the innocent. Like Sheol, let us swallow them alive, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of costly things. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Throw in your lot among us. We will all have one purse. My child, do not walk in their way. Keep your foot from their paths. For their feet run to evil, and they hurry to shed blood. For in vain is the net baited, while the bird is looking on. Yet they lie in wait to kill themselves and set an ambush for their own lives. Such is the end of all who are greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its possessors. So here's Enoch. And here in chapter 97, believe ye righteous that the sinners will become ashamed and perish in the day of unrighteousness. Be it known to you, you sinners, that the Most High is mindful of your destruction, and the angels of heaven rejoice over your destruction. What will you do, you sinners, and whither will you flee on that day of judgment when you hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? That sounds a little different than he wants that no man should be destroyed, right? But there comes a point where he's like, the angels rejoice over destruction. Yea, you shall fare like unto them, against whom this word shall be a testimony. You have been companions of sinners. There's another one. Evangelizing goes only so far. We're called to be separate. And in those days the prayer of the righteous shall reach unto Yahuwah, and for you the days of your judgment shall come, and all the words of your unrighteousness shall be read out before the great Holy One, and your faces shall be covered with shame, and he will reject every work which is grounded on unrighteousness. Woe to you, you sinners who live in mid-ocean on a dry land, whose remembrance is evil against you. Woe to you who acquire silver and gold in unrighteousness, and say, we have become rich with riches and have possessions, and have acquired everything we have desired. And now let us do what we purposed, for we have gathered silver, and many are the husbandmen in our houses, and our granaries are brim full as with water. There's that silver. Yea, and like water your lies shall flow away, for your riches shall not abide. There's that. But speedily ascend from you, for you have acquired it all in unrighteousness, and you shall be given over to a great curse. And this is for our time. Something over there. All right, so I think he continues on with stuff like that, and it matches what James was saying too. Therefore, they shall be wanting in doctrine and wisdom; they shall perish together with their possessions. Their spirit shall be cast into the furnace of fire. So, wisdom cries out in the street. In the square, she raises her voice. At the busiest corner, she cries out. At the entrance of the city gate, she speaks. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? How long will you scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? Give heed to my reproof. I will pour out my thoughts to you. I will make my words known to you, because I have called and you refused. Many are called, few are chosen. Have stretched out my hand, and no one heeded. And because you have ignored all my counsel, and would have none of my reproof, I will laugh at your calamity, and will mock when panic strikes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when your disaster comes on like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come on you, then will they call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge and didn't choose the fear of Yahuwah. They wanted none of my counsel. This is a reproof here. They despised all my reproof. Therefore they will eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own schemes. For the backsliding of the simple will kill them. The careless ease of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell securely, and will be at ease without fear of harm. So here, 33. Same cave here. My son, if you will receive my words and store up my commandments within you. It's all about Yah's word. Yah's word is knowledge and wisdom. So thine ears shall hearken to wisdom. Thou shalt also apply thy heart to understanding, and shalt apply it to the instruction of thy son. For if thou shalt call to wisdom and utter thy voice for understanding, and if you will seek it as silver and search diligently for it as for treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of Yahuwah and find the knowledge of God. For Yahuwah gives wisdom, and from his presence come knowledge and understanding. And he treasures up salvation for them that walk uprightly. He will protect their way, that he may guard the righteous ways, and he will preserve the way of them that fear him. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment, and shalt direct all thy course aright. Happy Sabbath, Rachel. For if wisdom shall come into thine understanding, and discernment shall seem pleasing to thy soul, good counsel shall guard thee, and holy understanding shall keep thee. What kind of understanding? To deliver thee from the evil way, and from the man that speaks nothing faithfully. Alas for those who forsake right paths, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice in evils and delight in wicked perverseness, whose paths are crooked and their courses winding, to remove thee far from the straight way, and to estrange thee from a righteous purpose. My son, let not evil counsel overtake thee of her who has forsaken the instruction of her youth, and forgotten the covenant of God. For she has fixed her house near death, and guided her wheels near Hades with the giants. That's interesting. So 18. Or pass to the shades. Huh. The giants. Interesting. That's in the Septuagint there, but we don't have the Dead Sea Scrolls, so can't really do much with it. None that go by her. Hold on a second. I might have something here. Maybe. Sometimes when you're sparse on sources, this comes in handy. I don't recommend all the time because it's got some rabbinic junk in it, but so chapter 2, the Proverb Targum. That's Job. Proverbs. Yeah, it's got but you can see right there. That's the yeah. I got these a long time ago now. It seems like. So 18. Whose house is in the valley of death, and to the giants is the way of her paths. Huh. Wow. So the Targums have giants as well as the Septuagint. Interesting. That is interesting. Good thing I switched over to Septuagint for some reason. Let's see. Yeah, the Greek is a very valuable. Not that it doesn't have its flaws, but it's very valuable. Considering we don't have all the Dead Sea Scrolls. So, let's see here. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Come on. You can go now. All right. Proverbs, Targums. I don't use Safari much. It's rabbinic. I mean, you can use it. It's a resource like anything else, but I'd be careful with it. Let's see. Doesn't mean I can't look at it there, you know. 18. Yes, okay. Thank you. Oh, go back. 18. Yeah, I don't read Aramaic, so. Make a rope go. Yeah, okay. All right. Never mind. Let me get out of there. Targum Proverbs. Logos has got it. Targum of Proverbs. Hmm. 2005. Wow, they got a bunch of them on the logos. Don't do it today. Sabbath. Just seeing if I can pull up one for here right quick. I don't think I have one saved. Do I? Hold on. Bear with me. Let's see. Happy Sabbath, Luke. Target text. Target meme. Nope. But no. That's not it. Nope. 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 Targum Net Bible. Nope. There's Targum. Yeah, I already got that one. Okay, Aramaic Bible, Volume 15. Yeah, that's the one I got there. Yep. Yep. Okay, whatever. I can't find it, so I'm not going to waste y'all's time looking for it. But I'll show you right here. It says it's got giants in there. Sometimes they preserve, you can see giants. Sometimes it'll preserve the correct thing because modern Bibles were heavily edited. So nope. What is going on with my internet? Okay. You can work now. Internet or computer one. All right, stand by. Let's see. There we go. I don't even have full screen. Be right back. Let's see. Settings. All right. Never mind. All right, let's get back to it. So that's interesting. Down to the giants. He went down and preached spirits in prison. First Peter 3:19, by which he also went and preached to the spirits in prison. Not spirits in heaven, spirits in prison, in the earth. Also, Peter and Jude. So, none that go by her shall return, neither shall they take hold of right paths, for they are not apprehended of the years of life. For had they gone in good paths, they would have found the paths of righteousness. Easy. Let's say easy. Smooth. For the upright shall dwell in the earth, and the holy shall be left behind in it. Yeah, they talk about the rapture. The wicked are taken and burned. In the Gospels, the tares are taken. The wheat are left behind. So, yep, The paths of the ungodly shall perish out of the earth, and transgressors shall be driven away from it. So, like, yeah, not going to heaven. So, Proverbs 3. My son, forget not my laws, but let thy heart keep my words. For length of existence and years of life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee, but bind them about thy neck. So shalt thou find favor, and do thou provide things honest in the sight of Yahuwah and of men. That's what Paul was talking about. Honest in the sight of Yahuwah and men. What's honest? This right here. Trust in God with all thine heart, and be not exalted in thine own wisdom. In all thy ways acquaint thyself with her, that she may rightly direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own conceit, but fear God and depart from all evil. Then shall thou be health to thy body, and good keeping to thy bones. Honor Yahuwah with thy just labors, and give him the first of thy fruits of righteousness. First fruits, that's in the law. That thy storehouses may be completely filled with corn, and that thy presses may burst forth with wine. My son, despise not the chastening of Yahuwah. Paul again. Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him, for whom Yahuwah loves he rebukes, and scourges every son whom he receives. Blessed is the man who has found wisdom, and the mortal who knows prudence, for it is better to traffic for her than for treasures of gold and silver. And she is more valuable than precious stones. No evil thing shall resist her. She is well known to all that approach her, and no precious thing is equal to her in value. For length of existence and years of life are in her right hand, and in her left hand are wealth and glory. Out of her mouth proceeds righteousness, and she carries law and mercy upon her tongue. See how it goes together? Law and mercy, grace and law. Her ways are good ways, and all her paths are peaceful. Law and peaceful, right? If you're a law abiding citizen, they consider you peaceful, right? If you're breaking the laws of the land, they consider you're a menace, right? God thinks the same way. She is a tree of life to all that lay hold upon her. Interesting. They get the tree of life. And she is a secure help to all that stay themselves on her, as on Yahuwah. God by wisdom founded the earth, and by prudence he prepared the heavens. By understanding were the depths broken up, and the clouds dropped water. My son, let them not pass from thee, but keep my counsel and understanding, that thy soul may live, and that there may be grace round thy neck. And it shall be health to thy flesh and safety to thy bones, that thou mayest go confidently in peace in all thy ways, and that thy foot may not stumble. For if thou rest, thou shalt be undismayed, and if thou sleep, thou shalt slumber sweetly. And thou shalt not be afraid of alarm coming upon thee, neither of approaching attacks of ungodly men. For Yahuwah shall be over all thy ways, and shall establish thy foot, that thou be not moved. Psalm 16:8. I have set Yahuwah always before me, because he is my right hand. I shall not be moved. Pretty sure that was in Isaiah as well. Oh, that's interesting. Hebrews 12. Endure chastening. What's it talking about? Cannot be moved. Cannot be shaken. So forbear not to do good to the poor, whenever thy hand may have power to help him. Say not, come back another time, tomorrow I will give, while thou art able to do him good, for thou knowest not what the next day will bring forth. So give alms. Tobit also says the same thing. Devise not evil against thy friend, living near thee and trusting in thee. Be not ready to quarrel with a man without a cause, lest he do thee some harm. Procure not the reproaches of bad men, neither do thou covet their ways. For every transgressor is unclean before Yahuwah. Neither does he sit among the righteous. Interesting. Transgressors are unclean before God and does not sit among the righteous. The curse of God is in the houses of the ungodly, but the habitation of the just are blessed. Yahuwah resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. The wise shall inherit glory, but the ungodly have exalted their own dishonor. Right? So either way, we're supposed to be righteous. Either you're righteous and I'm not supposed to sit among you, or it's the other way around. Right? That's the only way we can biblically walk together, is we're supposed to be doing righteousness, right? And be clean before Yah. And doing righteousness is being humble. Doing unrighteousness is being proud. So Proverbs 4, hear you children the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you a good gift, forsake you not my law. For I also was a son obedient to my father, and loved in the sight of my mother, who spoke and instructed me, saying, let our speech be fixed in thine heart, keep our commandments, forget them not, and do not neglect the speech of my mouth, and forsake it not, and it shall cleave to thee. Love it, and it shall keep thee. Secure it, and it shall exalt thee. Honor it, that it may embrace thee, that it may give unto thy head a crown of graces, and may cover thee with a crown of delight. Hear, my son, and receive my words, and the years of thy life shall be increased, that the resources of thy life may be many. For I teach thee the ways of wisdom, and I cause thee to go in right paths. Yep, Hebrews 12, 13. For when thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not be distressed. Take hold of my instruction, let it not go, but keep it for thyself, for thy life. Go not in the ways of the ungodly, neither covet the ways of transgressors. In whatever place they shall pitch their camp, go not thither, but turn from them and pass away. Still applies. Go not in the ways of the ungodly, neither covet the ways of transgressors. So turn from them. For they cannot sleep unless they have done evil. Their sleep is taken away, and they rest not. For these live upon the bread of ungodliness, and they are drunken with the wine of transgression. But the ways of the righteous shine like light. They go on and shine until the day be fully come. But the ways of the ungodly are dark. They know not how they stumble. They know not. So we're supposed to know. It's not pulling up. Paul says the same thing. Come out from among them and be you separate, and he will receive you. My son, attend to my speech, and apply thy ear to my words, that the fountains may not fail thee. Keep them in thine heart, for they are life to those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thine heart with the utmost care, for out of these are the issues of life. In Hebrew, mind. Keep your mind. Remove from thee a forward mouth, and put away from thee unjust lips. Unjust lips, breaking commandments, teaching people to break commandments. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids assent to just things. Just things. Make straight paths for thy feet, and order thy ways aright. Turn not aside to the right hand nor to the left, but turn away thy foot from an evil way. That's what he said, and he gave the commandments. What, Deuteronomy? Turn not to the right or the left, keep the commandments. For God knows the ways on the right hand, but those on the left are crooked. And he will make thy way straight and will guide thy steps in peace. Alexandrian Codex. There's some people may not know it. There's different Greek manuscripts too. Hebrew is missing in the Hebrew. And it's just not coming up, man. What's going on with my internet? Unbelievable. Reconnecting. Oh man, it's like my stream just didn't even. What in the world? Oh my gosh. Huh. But it looks like it's recording. Wow. It came back on. Huh. I don't know what's going on with this stuff. Yeah, it disconnected again. Jeez. What in the world is going on? What? Okay, we can keep going, I guess. So, yeah. All right. I'm just going to keep going because I got 30 minutes in here. My son, attend to my wisdom and apply thine ear to my words, that thou mayest keep good understanding. In the discretion of my lips, give thee a charge. Give no heed to a worthless woman, for honey drips from the lips of a harlot, who for a season pleases thy palate, but afterwards thou wilt find her more bitter than gall and sharper than a two-edged sword. Interesting. So iniquity is sharper than a two-edged sword as well. For the feet of folly lead those who deal with her down to the grave with death, and her steps are not established. For she goes not upon the paths of life, but her ways are slippery and not easily known. Now then, my son, hear me, and make not my words of none effect. Remove thy way far from her. Draw not near to the doors of her house, lest thou give away thy life to others, and thy substance to the merciless. Lest strangers be filled with thy strength, and thy labors come into the houses of strangers, and thou repent at last, when the flesh of thy body is consumed. And thou shalt say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart avoided reproofs? I heard not the voice of him that instructed me and taught me, and neither did I apply mine ear. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own vessels, and out of thine own springing wells. Let not waters out of thy fountain be spilt by thee, but let thy waters go into thy streets. Let them be only thine own. Let no stranger partake with thee. Let thy fountain of water be truly thine own, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let thy loving heart and thy graceful colt company with thee, and let her be considered thine own, and be with thee at all times. For ravished with her love, thou shalt be greatly increased. Am I dropping? Man, it's dropping off. I didn't drop any frames. Oh, come on now. I'm going to drop over here. Reconnecting again. All right. Give me just a minute. Let's see. What in the world is going on? I don't know. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to work. Hmm. Yeah. Well, trying to get my internet back up and going. It's looks like it's going now. A minute ago, it disconnected. 3 minutes ago. I already did that. Network troubleshooter. Yeah. Well, it looks like it's coming back on. Uh, man, hate to have a gap in it like that. So, maybe it'll be fine for a minute. So, let not drink the waters out of thy own vessels, out of thy own springy wells. Let not thy waters of thy fountain be spilt by thee, but thy waters go into thy let thy waters go into thy streets. Let them be only thine own, and let no stranger partake with thee. Let thy fountain of water be truly thine own, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let thy loving heart and thy graceful colt company with thee, and let her be considered thine own, and be with thee at all times. For ravished with her love, thou shalt be greatly increased. Be not intimate with a strange woman, neither fold thyself in the arms of a woman not thine own. Very dangerous. For the ways of man are before the eyes of God, and he looks on all his paths. Iniquities ensnare a man, and every one is bound in the chains of his own sins. Such a man dies with the uninstructed, and he is cast forth from the abundance of his own substance, and has perished through folly. So, my son, Proverbs 6, if thou become surety for thy friend, thou shalt deliver thine hand to an enemy. For a man's own lips become a strong snare to him, and he is caught with the lips of his own mouth. My son, do what I command thee, and deliver thyself, for on thy friend's account thou art come into the power of evil men. Faint not, but stir up even thy friend, for whom thou art become surety. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids, that thou mayest deliver thyself as a doe out of the toils, and as a bird out of the snare. Yeah, thanks. I usually don't have internet issues. That's weird. Go to the ant, O sluggard, and see and emulate his ways, and become wiser than he. For whereas he has no husbandry, nor anyone to compel him, and is under no master, he prepares food for himself in the summer, and lays by abundant store in the harvest. Or go to the bee and learn how diligent she is, and how earnestly she is engaged in her work, whose labors kings and private men use for health, and she is desired and respected by all. Though weak in body, she is advanced by honoring wisdom. How long wilt thou lie, O sluggard, and when wilt thou awake out of sleep? Thou sleepest a little, and thou restest a little, and thou slumberest a short time, and thou foldest thy arms over thy breast a little. Then poverty comes upon thee as an evil traveler, and want as a swift courier. But if thou be diligent, thine harvest shall arrive as a fountain, and poverty shall flee away as a bad courier. Be diligent in what? God's commandments. A foolish man and a transgressor goes in the ways that are not good, and the same winks with the eye and makes a sign with his foot, and teaches with the beckonings of his fingers. His perverse heart devises evils at all times. Such a one causes troubles to a city. Therefore his destruction shall come suddenly, overthrow and irretrievable ruin. For he rejoices in all things which God hates, and he is ruined by reason of impurity of soul. The eye of the haughty, a tongue unjust, hands shedding the blood of the just, and a heart devising evil thoughts, and feet hastening to do evil, are hateful to God. An unjust witness kindles falsehoods. Got to go by God's law, or you're an unjust witness. And brings on quarrels between brethren. Yes, law breaking brings on quarrels. But yeah, I can go there. My son, keep the laws of thy father, and reject not the ordinances of thy mother, but bind them upon thy soul continually, and hang them as a chain about thy neck. Whensoever thou walkest, lead this along, and let it be with thee. And when thou sleepest, let it keep thee, that it may talk with thee when thou wakest. For the commandment of the law is a lamp and a light and a way of life, reproof also and correction. So Messiah said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, right? If he's walking around and people know these, they know he just said, I'm the Torah. And the commandment is good. It's a lamp, it's a light, it's a way of life, reproof also and correction. All these things, God's law is good, to keep thee continually from a married woman and from the calumny of a strange tongue. Let not the desire of beauty overcome thee, neither be thou caught by thine eyes, neither be captivated with her eyelids. For the value of a harlot is as much as of one loaf, and a woman hunts for the precious souls of men. Shall anyone bind fire in his bosom and not burn his garments? Or will anyone walk on coals of fire and not burn his feet? So is he that goes into a married woman, he shall not be held guiltless. So anyone that, Messiah said, if unless she's committed adultery, then she's not free. So, well, it looks like it's not cutting off now. Praise Yah. Matthew 5:32. I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced commits adultery. So if he puts away his wife, unless she's fornicated, he makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries her commits adultery too. Not good. Neither anyone that touches her shall not be guiltless. It is not to be wondered at if one should be taken stealing, for he steals that when hungry he may satisfy his soul. But if he should be taken, he shall repay sevenfold, and he shall deliver himself by giving all his goods. but the adulterer, through want of sense, procures destruction to his soul. He endures both pain and disgrace, and his reproach shall never be wiped off. Sounds like it's unforgivable. For the soul of her husband is full of jealousy. He will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not forego his enmity for any ransom, neither will he be reconciled for many gifts. So she's still married. So she still has a husband. Proverbs 7. So we got verses 9, 11 in the scrolls, and that's it. Dang. My son, keep my words and hide with thee my commandments. My son, honor Yahuwah, and thou shalt be strong, and fear none but him. Keep my commandments, and thou shalt live. Keep my words as the pupils of thine eyes, and bind them on thy fingers, and write them on the table of thine heart. Mind. Say that wisdom is thy sister, and gain prudence as an acquaintance for thyself, that she may keep thee from the strange and wicked woman, if she should assail thee with flattering words. For she looks from a window out of her house into the streets at one whom she may see. Of the senseless ones, a young man void of understanding, passing by the corner in the passages near her house, and speaking in the dark of the evening, when there happens to be the stillness of night and darkness. And the woman meets him, having the appearance of a harlot, that causes the hearts of young men to flutter. And she is fickle and debauched, and her feet abide not at home. For at one time she wanders without, and at another time she lies in wait in the streets, at every corner. Then she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said to him, I have a peace offering. Today I pay my vows. Therefore I came forth to meet thee, desiring thy face, and I have found thee. I have spread my bed with sheets, and I have covered it with double tapestry from Egypt. I have sprinkled my couch with saffron, and my house with cinnamon. Come and let us enjoy love until the morning. Come and let us embrace in love. For my husband is not at home, but is gone on a long journey. Having taken in his hand a bundle of money, after many days he will return to his house. Messiah went on a journey. So with much converse she prevailed. I missed those two verses. In the twilight, in the evening of the day, in the middle of the night, and in the darkness. She is loud and defiant. Her feet don't stay in her house. So with much converse she prevailed on him to go astray, and with the snares of her lips she forced him from the right path. And he followed her, being gently led on, and that as an ox is led to the slaughter, and as a dog to bonds, and as a hart shot in the liver with an arrow, and he hastens as a bird into a snare, not knowing that he is running for his life. Now then, my son, hearken to me, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart turn aside to her ways, for she has wounded and cast down many, and those whom she has slain are innumerable. Her house is the way of hell, leading down to the chambers of death. Check that. I ain't even looked down here. So, yep. Proverbs 8, thou shalt proclaim wisdom, that understanding may be obedient to thee. For she is on lofty eminences, and stands in the midst of the ways. For she sits by the gates of princes, and sings in the entrances, saying, You, O men, I exhort, and utter my voice to the sons of men. O you simple, understand subtly. Oops. And you that are untaught, imbibe knowledge. Hearken to me, for I'll speak solemn truths, and will produce right sayings from my lips. For my throat shall meditate truth, and false lips are an abomination before me. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing in them wrong or perverse. They are all evident to those that understand, and right to those that find knowledge. Receive instruction, not silver, and knowledge rather than tried gold. For wisdom is better than precious stones, and no valuable substance is of equal worth with it. That's key. You got to know who you're talking to. I, wisdom, have dwelt with counsel and knowledge, and I have called upon understanding. The fear of Yahuwah hates unrighteousness and insolence and pride, the ways of wicked men, and I hate the perverse ways of bad men. See how all this stuff goes together? Counsel and safety are mine, prudence is mine, and strength is mine. By me kings reign and princes decree justice. By me nobles become great, and monarchs by me rule over the earth. I love those that love me, and they that seek me shall find me. Messiah said, seek and you shall find, right? Wealth and glory belong to me, yea, abundant possessions and righteousness. It is better to have my fruit than to have gold and precious stones, and my produce is better than choice silver. I walk in ways of righteousness and am conversant with the paths of judgment. You got to have judgment. So I said, don't judge. Context. That if you want to be pleasing to God, you have to have judgment. That I may divide substance to them that love me, and may fill their treasures with good things. If I declare to you the things that daily happen, I will remember also to recount the things of old. Yahuwah made me the beginning of his ways for his works. He established me before time was in the beginning. That's interesting. Before the age, Greek. Before the age was. He established me before the age was in the beginning. Before he made the earth, even before he made the depths, before the fountains of water came forth, before the mountains were settled, and yeah, this is talking about wisdom. And the Lord made wisdom the beginning before he made all this right here. And we know the Lord made all this right here, right? John 1:1, Colossians, Yahusha made all this stuff, right? Before the mountains were settled, before the hills, he begets me. Yahuwah made countries and uninhabited tracts in the highest inhabited parts of the world. When he prepared the heaven, I was present with him. When he prepared his throne upon the winds, and when he strengthened the clouds above, when he secured the fountains of the earth, and when he strengthened the foundations of the earth, I was by him. Suiting myself to him, I was that therein wherein he took delight, and daily I rejoiced in his presence continually. For he rejoiced when he had completed the world, and rejoiced among the children of men. Now then, my son, hear me. Blessed is the man who shall hearken to me, and the mortal who shall keep my ways. Watching daily at my doors, waiting at the post of my entrances, for my outgoings are the outgoings of life, and in them is prepared favor from Yahuwah. But they that sin against me act wickedly against their own souls, and they that hate me love death. So you got to know what you're doing, or it's considered sin. And if you know what you're doing, you better not be doing it. So Proverbs 13. All right. It's good now. 16 minutes. We had a lot of technical issues there. So Proverbs 13 is 4Q. Yeah. All right, let's finish. Wisdom 9. Wisdom has built a house for herself and set up 7 pillars. She has killed her beasts. She has mingled her wine in a bowl and prepared her table. She has sent forth her servants, calling with a loud proclamation to the feast, saying, whoso is foolish, let him turn aside to me. And to them that want understanding, she says, come, eat of my bread and drink wine which I have mingled for you. Leave folly that you may reign forever, and seek wisdom and improve your understanding by knowledge. Wisdom. He that reproves evil men shall get dishonor to himself. Yeah. And he that rebukes an ungodly man shall disgrace himself. Rebuke not evil men, lest they should hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Gotta know who we're dealing with. I think I fell into that. Not that I'm anything, but, just kind of odd. If it's Yah's word and it's right, it's righteous, he's right. So, rebuke not evil men, lest they should hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, he will love thee. Give an opportunity to a wise man, and he will be wiser. Instruct a just man, and he will receive more instruction. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, and the counsel of saints is understanding. For to know the law is the character of a sound mind. Oh, boy. For in this way thou shalt live long, and the years of thy life shall be added to thee. Son, if thou be wise for thyself, thou shalt also be wise for thy neighbors. And if thou should prove wicked, that should be fellows, thou alone will bear the evil. He that stays himself upon falsehoods attempts to rule the winds, and the same will pursue birds in their flight. For he has forsaken the ways of his own vineyard, and he has caused the axles of his own husbandry to go astray. And he goes through a dry desert and a land apportioned to drought, or appointed to drought. He gathers barrenness with his hands. A foolish and bold woman who knows not modesty comes to want a morsel. She sits at the doors of her house on a seat openly in the streets, calling to passers-by and to those that are going right on their ways, saying, Whoso is most senseless of you, let him turn aside to me. And I exhort those that want prudence, saying, Take and enjoy secret bread and the sweet water of theft. But he knows that mighty men die by her, and he falls in with the snare of hell. But hasten away, delay not in the place, neither fix thine eye upon her. For thus shalt thou go through strange water, but do thou abstain from strange water, and drink not of a strange fountain, that thou mayest live long, and the years of life may be added to thee. So I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to go over here to wisdom. It's 40, 41. Nope. 41. Enoch 42, wisdom found no place where she might dwell. Then a dwelling place was assigned her in the heavens. Wisdom went forth to make her dwelling among the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place, and took her seat among the angels. And unrighteousness went forth from her chambers. Whom she sought not she found, and dwelt with them, as rain in a desert, and dew on a thirsty land. This is what we've been reading about, the woman, unrighteousness, and the good one, wisdom. Then he goes into the righteous. Yeah, that's 2 Corinthians 6:17. Wherefore come out from among them, be ye separate, saith Yahuwah, and touch not the unclean thing, and I'll receive you. See, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? So, unbelievers is unrighteousness. What communion hath light with darkness? That's things that we're trying to wrap our heads around, right? Back then, he would have known exactly. That's not an unbeliever. They're not keeping God's law. They're following unrighteousness. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, what is righteousness? And nobody has it down. And what accord hath Christ with Belial, and what part hath he with that believeth with the infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For you are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So he says, separate, be righteous, will be a father unto you, and you shall be sons and daughters, saith Yahuwah Almighty. Right? It's very clear. So I don't think none of us have it, but it doesn't make it any less correct, right? So, all right. Hope that was helpful and a blessing. I know we had technical issues. I'll probably delete the live and just have the regular video. So, hope y'all had a good Sabbath. See y'all later.